All right. Hello. So, like I said before in the video I posted, I don't know when I'm gonna post it. I just recorded all three of these in one night. Um, but yeah, I went to San Diego, and what an experience. So I kind of got lucky. I had points on my credit card, used that for the ticket, right? Got a cheap ticket, and then my aunt actually owns a place out in San Diego, so I just stayed over there. Stayed free, very nice place. So me and my cousin went out there. I'm from Massachusetts, right? And in Massachusetts, people got a certain attitude. I think in general, like it's kind of stereotyping, but there is New England itself kind of has like a certain pace to it. People kind of have a certain attitude. So the culture, I've been to California before, but San Diego is like a whole new breed of AI. The people there, man, it's just like I think I said it in the other video, but it's almost like half of them are just like NPCs. My cousin and I were talking about that the whole time. There are some very strange behaviors out there. I don't want to say individuals because I don't, it just seems like the attitude out there. Now, that being said, like San Diego is a very beautiful place. I kind of stayed near like this area called Seaport Village. Very beautiful. Don't get me wrong. The harbors there, they have like massive aircraft carriers and battleships, and there's right across the shore from there is I think it's a Navy base, something like that. Um, so it's really cool. I mean, the landscape's beautiful. The weather was gorgeous while I was there. It's kind of overcast and cloudy in the morning. Kind of nice, cool start to your morning. They had a pool where we were at, like a heated pool and like a jacuzzi and all that. I'd get up in the morning, have my coffee, go out there, chill in the pool with my cousin. Then we just kind of like him and I are kind of the same in that we don't really go with an itinerary with a plan. We just kind of walk until we find something to do. Um, but I mean, like for instance, in San Diego, there are these bikes, right? People like those kind of like trolley type of things where people just like have a bike and then they have like a big cart that they drag on the back. But it's so it was just like every single one of them is blasting music at all times of the day. Early morning, they're playing like EDM, like it's like a Tiesto concert right there. Some of them are playing dubstep, and it's like Skrillex while they're fucking biking down the middle of the road. But the the thing that got me, that I was just like, it just made me laugh, was on each one of these bikes. Like, say it's like 9:30 in the morning. You just look at one of these bikes, and there's like, they're just blasting Skrillex, right? Like, and you look at the crowd, or like the group of people that's on that bike, and it's like a Chinese family of like a mother, a baby, and then their grandparents. And they're just sitting there straight faced while this homunculus of a man is like pedaling them through an intersection. And it's just blasting EDM at 9:30 in the morning. And it's just, I guess you really have to just imagine it. But as far as the people go, like I have a prime example, right? My cousin and I ended up going to this Brazilian steakhouse. Have you ever had Brazilian steakhouse before, like Brazilian barbecue? It's really freaking good. It was pretty expensive. It was like $75 a person. We did not know that walking in there. Halfway through eating, I was like, hey, to one of the waiters, I was like, hey, what's the pricing like here? He's like, my cousin and I were actually anticipating like 125. We were kind of like trying to figure out how we were going to dine and dash, if it came to it, or how many dishes we could wash. Um, but it was, he was like, yeah, 75 bucks. So I ate as much as I possibly could. And like, they try and trick you with the salad bar, right? Get the fuck out of here with the salad bar. I'm here for meat. And this guy comes in, right, with his family. He's got two kids, this guy and his wife. Just by looking at them, you could kind of tell that they were tourists, maybe from like Montana, middle of nowhere. Looks like they had never been out of the house before. And my cousin and I are like eating, like they're bringing like filet mignon, just like chicken wings and all different types of meat, like Brazilian barbecue. And the guy sits down, his wife goes to the bathroom. And his two kids are like coming in like little nurglings, like, "Oh, Daddy, we're hungry." And he's like, "Oh, all right, kids. Sir, excuse me." And he like they bring him the menu, like they're explaining to him how this works. He's like, "I know how this works. I've been here before." And the guy's like, "Well, in a Brazilian steakhouse, it's a little bit different everywhere you go, or something like that." And the guy's like, "Whoa." He just goes, "Hold on a second. And now right next door was a cheesecake factory. Now it was pretty clearly marked which one was the cheesecake factory and which one was the Brazilian steakhouse. The guy's like, I thought this was the fucking cheesecake factory. And the waiter just like off guard. He's just like, what? What? And the guy's like, well, you telling me this isn't the cheesecake factory? He was like, it should have been clearly marked at the door that this is not the cheesecake factory. And his kids are just like sitting there like blankly staring. Like you could hear their fucking eyeballs just like wiggling back and forth in their head in like SpongeBob sound effect, eyes closing like that was a bad sound. But the guy just like his wife comes back from the bathroom. He's like, FYI, this ain't the Cheesecake Factory. And now mind you, the Cheesecake Factory, anywhere you go, has a pretty stereotypical, inside. Like the decorations inside, the theme, you can tell you're in a Cheesecake Factory. Especially when you walk in and you see the glass thing full of cheesecake. That's kind of a dead giveaway. So when you walk into this place, there's no cheesecake on display. So, the wife goes, I thought this place looked a little weird. And the guy just starts going, well, what are my kids gonna eat? What are the kids gonna do? Meanwhile, it's like, what child doesn't like chicken wings? Or like steak? I mean, I'm not a big like beef guy. But when I was little, if someone gave me a steak, I'd have been like, fucking give it to me. So they get up, they go back to the Cheesecake Factory. But it's just like, it's attitudes like that out there. I mean, then of course you have like the entitled people. Kind of strange. But if you ever have the opportunity to go to San Diego, I recommend it. We went to this one beach called La Jolla. Very nice area. We got to watch the sunset out there. The only thing is like everyone is like, oh, you got to see the seals. Because I guess like, all the seals and like these birds kind of look like penguins. Are just kind of chilling on the rocks, like right below where you could look down. And everybody there is like happy taking pictures. And my cousin and I are like walking up the street, walking by this area. And all of a sudden, you just get hit with this humid, hot blast. This scent of bird shit and seal shit. And like the rocks are painted white with shit. And I'm not even kidding. I don't gag from much. But the smell, the overwhelming scent of bird shit and seal shit just overcame me. I almost died. I actually I had to like keep putting my shirt over my nose and like taking a breath. Of course I covered that up with weed smoke at some point. But it was a surreal experience. That's all I can say. The food there is fantastic. The scenery, the weather, fantastic. Of course then you have the tweakers kind of just like laying out everywhere. And we were just walking on the street, and this one girl just, like, kicked this homeless person's bike full of belongings over. So I went over to him, I was like, oh, hey, man, can I help you out? And he just starts looking at me, he's like, this fucking bitch! Man, this fucking bitch! And I'm like, okay, can I help you? He's like, this bitch! And I'm like, alright, sir, have a good day. But yeah, if you ever get a chance, kind of steer clear of the tweakers. But it's also insane. Like, you go to Boston, and people are just, like, shitting in the middle of the street. You go to San Diego, they have people walking around the city picking up trash. And, like, they're not just, like, minimum wage, just, like, slacking off. They're, like, lifting up the grates around the trees, like, getting bottles and trash or whatever out from underneath there. They're, like, they keep the city clean. So, again, I mean, it was just... I can't even describe it. It was both beautiful and horrifying all at once. And again, if you ever get the chance to go, definitely take a trip out to San Diego. Well, anyways, I hope you enjoyed the Dark Tide gameplay in the background. Hope you get a chance to travel a little bit this coming year. It is pretty fun. I don't travel enough, but then again, it's just so expensive, and I hate flying. But we'll see. Maybe next time. Maybe I'll post a few pictures on here. From the trip. I got a really good picture of the sunset. So we'll see. But anyways, thanks for listening to my rant about San Diego. I would go again. 10 out of 10 would go again. Visit Old Town. Get some of the best Mexican food I've ever had. Just short of going down to Mexico. Alright. See ya.